So, you like doing offset attacks, right? Well, my friend, do I have a build for you. No team buffs, no hunting horn, no short-lived item gimmicks, just pure, unadulterated counter synergy that pushes your blade up to 1799 attack damage. And the best part? Thanks to Powerhouse 2, once this engine kicks in, it stays with you for the entire fight. Every single time a monster swings at you, it isn't an attack. It's just free damage waiting for you to collect. Welcome back to Unshift Gaming. If you've been following my Monster Hunter Wilds builds, you know my goal has always been simple: craft armor setups built for real hunters. Builds that pack insane strength and comfort while easily standing toe to toe with and even challenging the meta. So let's step inside the tent and kick things off with the weapon that powers this entire build. First up, the blade that makes it all possible, the Gogma RTN GreatSword. We're leaning into an attack-based affinity-focused setup here. For status, you can run both paralysis and sleep. Both option gives us the absolute best utility in the game, locking the monster completely for long enough to land a guaranteed hit, fully charged TCS. For our weapon upgrades, we're going with 2 in attack, 2 in affinity, and 1 in sharpness to keep our damage output consistently peaking. And finally, for the weapon skill, we only need one thing: Jin the Had's Revolt. This gives us access to Binding Counter, which grants a massive attack boost after recovering from being bounded or winning a power clash, feeding right back into our heavy counter playstyle. For the armor setup, here's the exact piece-by-piece configuration. For the head, the Shagu Mask, and then the Shaguma Male Beta, Braces Beta, and Coil Beta. As for the legs, we use the Dahad Shargreaves Beta. For the charm, we'll use one that have Focus 3, Agitator 1 skills combination, and make sure it has the 1 socket for weapon decoration. For the specialized tool, of course we're using the Mending Mantle. Moving on to the decorations, for the weapon, slot in Critical Jewel 3, Guardian and Iron Wall 3, Shield and Iron Wall 3. And then across your armor pieces, slot in 2 Steadfast Jewels, 2 Earplug Jewels, 3 Counter Jewels, 2 Challenger, and 1 Critical Jewel. With all those decorations slotted in, here is the complete skill list you'll end up with. Critical Boost 4, Offensive Guard 3, Focus 3, Guard Up 3, Guard 2, Agitator 5, Latent Power 4, Counter Strike 3, Stun Resistance 3, Earplugs 2, and for the set bonuses you'll have Powerhouse 2 and Binding Counter 1. And finally, for your group skill, you'll get the Diversion. Now let's talk about how this build actually comes together in combat, and it all starts with Diversion. On paper, it looks like a simple utility skill. In reality, it is the primary engine driving this entire setup. By forcing the monster to keep its eyes and its attacks locked onto you, you completely eliminate the dead time spent chasing the target around the arena. Every single strike comes straight to your doorstep, giving you total control over the flow of the fight and setting up every single counter buff in our toolkit. Now, to stand your ground and catch those attacks head on, your defense needs to be absolute. As a sword and shield main, my instinct is always to block and parry. Guard 2 and Guard Up 3 to let us block the heaviest and most destructive attacks in the game with minimal stamina drain and minimized chip damage. Combine that with Earplugs 2 to ignore roars and Stun Resistance 3 to eliminate stun penalties, you'll become an immovable object. But we aren't just blocking to survive. In this build, blocking is an offensive tool. Every successful parry and guard immediately feeds straight into our damage, and that brings us straight into our attack synergies. When you block an attack, Offensive Guard 3 immediately kicks in with a massive 15% attack increase. Pair that with Agitator 5 granting an extra 20 attack whenever the monster is enraged. With just these two, your base damage is already soaring. But when trades happen or you take a hit, that is when Counter Strike 3 and Powerhouse 2 trigger right alongside each other, giving you an explosive 25 attack each. Stack that with Binding Counter 1 after winning a power clash, which also gives another 25 attack, and all of these flat boosts combined to hand you a staggering plus 95 attack. And then, you also have 15% extra attack damage multiplier from just blocking. Every attack you block or offset turns directly into an overwhelming counterforce. With all that raw attack locked in, our critical synergy ensures that every hit lands with maximum force. We start with a strong baseline on our weapon, sitting at 33 to 35% affinity. The second the monster enrages, Agitator 5 kicks in to add another 15% affinity, pushing our crit chance right up to 50% mark. Then, as the fight heats up and latent power 4 activates, it drops a massive 40% affinity boost onto your stats, and that spikes up our total crit rate up to 90% mark, a near guaranteed territory, turning all that raw counter power into a devastating max multiplier critical hits through critical boost 4. And finally, let's not forget, we also have our utility suite. Focus 3 is the silent MVP here, speeding up the charge time so you can consistently squeeze out a full charge attack during those tight recovery windows after a successful guard or offset. Paired with your status openings from paralysis and sleep, you aren't just reacting to the monster, you are dictating the entire pace of the hunt from start to finish. Fast, unshakable, and hitting with relentless force. And that is the ultimate offset build. At the end of the day, this setup rewards precision. When you turn a monster's heaviest hits into a pure counter-offensive momentum, you aren't just surviving the hunt, you are punishing every single opening they give you. If you're ready to test this setup in your next run, take it out into the field and let me know in the comments what kind of damage numbers you're hitting. Drop a like if this breakdown helped you out and hit subscribe for more deep dive weapon builds. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and I'll see you in the next one.